question. And I saw this post from Ken Swift, somebody I follow on Instagram, on Twitter. He put this about Paige and Caitlin, and it kind of led me to think about a better question. Is Paige Bueckers going to have the ability to rival Caitlin Clark in the WNBA? And I'm going to take it a step further. Do you feel like she's a generational talent?
I think that I think she can rival Caitlin Clark. I think that, I don't know. I mean, I'm one of those people that has to be convinced of things, right? In my mind's eye, I feel like pre-injury Paige Bueckers would have been on the trajectory of Caitlin Clark, and I just want to see it put together for a longer period of time. But I think that Paige has all pretty much the same amount of God-given ability as Caitlin Clark. And if they could be rivals in the future, I mean, that'd be awesome, man. Is she a generational talent? I think she has generational talent. Paige Bueckers does. Um, I just I just wonder if she'll be able to hold up for the long haul.
You mean like not get hurt?
Not get hurt, yeah.
But I mean, I feel like they're gonna get hurt. Players get hurt.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know, but still.
So 1 of 4 put there is not a chance. So okay, so you're saying there's not one chance at all. So I'm gonna request you up. If you agree, disagree, y'all chime in. I want to hear what you think. So he said same, not. I love to hear what you guys say. Request in, please. I want to hear what y'all got to say about this. Okay. Do I think again? If you're rating her Paige, that is on the same metrics that Caitlin had to do, meaning come into the WNBA, lead the WNBA in assists, et cetera, I'm not gonna say she's gonna do all that, especially now that you got Clark in the building. But for me, do I feel like she could average maybe 7 assists next season, 6 assists next season, Jordan? Probably. I'm gonna say probably.
Well, how many players were given the car keys to a team like Caitlin Clark has been? That's I feel like that's also something that is not exactly commonplace for a number 1 overall pick.
So I hear you. Yes, Jordan. And one of the commenters said something similar to what you just said. He said Paige, and a Clash, I'm gonna bring you up. Good Clash. He said Paige is not close to her talent. People keep saying that, but they fail to remember it. Paige won National Player of the Year as a freshman. So I'm like, don't tell me, you know what I'm saying? That you can't say that she has no talent or is not talented or etc. Like, I would absolutely disagree. Clash, what are your thoughts on this? Everybody else, y'all want to chime in, y'all, please. Jordan, I don't know if you can hear it. I'm about to get the mic back for you. Here, can you say that again, Clash?
Hey, DJ, what's up, Jordan?
Can you hear?
How's it going, man?
Hey, Jordan. Hey, guys, I just figured I'd jump in just to say, first of all, love jumping in with both you guys. And by the way, great party last time we had out together.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
We always have a good time. Different. I got to say that you're always entertaining. I just want to tell you both of you guys. It was a good time last time we were hanging.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Clash.
It's always good. You understand what I'm saying, DJ?
Absolutely.
You guys, I'm going to make this sort of succinct, but I want to tell you, listen, I watched Paige the other day. I went back and watched a lot of her videos over the last month. Paige is clearly a talent. There's no question. And back when she was a freshman and winning, top honors in college, there's no question that she is a talent. Is she a Caitlin Clark type of talent? I don't think she's as quick. Hey, listen, everything is always my opinion. I don't think she's as quick as Caitlin. I don't think she has the speed on the ball handling as quick as Caitlin. I don't think her release on her shot is as quick as Caitlin when she goes inside the paint, where she put a lot of points up the other day. I think she'll find herself challenged a lot more. Maybe you say, well, then she'll stay back. But, I think she'll find herself more challenged in the paint. And the other day when she banged down a couple of threes, she had a couple of mismatches where people didn't come out and check her like one of the fours, and she has a nice J. She's a player. There's no question. She's a player. But all the things I mentioned, I don't think she's as quick. The release isn't as quick. And I didn't see her have the same type of open, on her J to get going. So that's my opinion.
Let me ask you this, Clash, before you don't have to leave just yet. if she were to win, let's say she wins National Player of the Year again, and they win a chip, do you feel like she is more? I'm not gonna say obviously. Well, you could make that argument. Would you say she's more accomplished than Caitlyn entering the WNBA?
Listen, I got to tell you something. You know, DJ, a kid like you that as smart as you are with all the sports stuff that you do, it always comes back to the same thing. Is she more accomplished? You mean having 4 other 5-star recruits around her, having one of the top coaches? Even though I don't like Gino, I think Gino's a pinhead. But
We're gonna talk about Gino next.
Pinhead.
Surround her and other players. Yeah, but I don't know if you can
What's a
judge
pinhead?
team award and the individual players award to answer that question.
Well, that's why I brought up the National Player of the Year.
No question, I understand. But National Player of the Year is still based on a championship. You see what I'm saying? She ain't going to win it if they don't have a tremendous year. She's not going to win it if they don't have a great year. So I correlated it to them going to the finals again. But if they lose in the finals, I don't know if she'll get it either. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
When you say National Player of the Year, that's my opinion on it. The other day, too, I know, I guarantee, well, I don't want to guarantee. I was going to say, DJ, I bet you or Jordan both watched her play because, listen, I definitely have jumped in and joined women's basketball, college and above. But what I would tell you, listen, playing the 109th team in the nation, and Gino's got a starting 5 in at the end of the third quarter before he started extracting players. It's like, I'm not saying don't let it rock and roll, but she didn't come out till 1 minute left at the end of the third quarter. And I'm just saying, hey, Gino, you're up by 30. You got a squad that's the 109th in the nation. Can you play anybody? Can you go down and maybe play like a community college somewhere? Or 109th, 110th team in the nation is where you feel you're showing your best entertainment. They come up with Carolinas this week, I believe, but 109th in the nation, starting 5 still in at the end of the third quarter.
I appreciate it, Clash. We got a few more. Come request back. We got a few more that's on the live. I do appreciate it. Oh, I just.
Why is he on?
Yeah. I'm gonna bring up Tay, and then TX, you're up next. I want to hear what y'all gotta think. Tay, talk to us. So first, my first question is: 1, is Paige Bueckers a generational talent? Tay, that's the first question. And 2, do you feel like Paige Bueckers can rival Caitlin Clark in the WNBA?
Can you repeat that real quick? My fault, man.
Oh, no, you're good. My first question was, is Paige Bueckers a generational talent? And that's the second question was, can Paige Bueckers rival Caitlin Clark in the WNBA?
I think she's a generational talent for sure. Rivaling Caitlyn, I don't know specifically. I think that's easier said than done. I think that is possible. I think, yeah.
Okay, I was going to say why. Why do you think that? And then TX, get ready. Make sure y'all double tap the screen. We appreciate all the likes. Let's see if we can get more likes on this. Double tap the screen. Share this to some of your friends. Let's double tap the screen. And Tay, if you want to continue, you're good.
The reason I think that is because, one, I think Paige has no flaws in her game. I think she can shoot it, she can drive it, she can create, she can defend well. And not having a flaw in your game leads to generational talent. The thing when it comes to Caitlyn is, well, I don't know if she can rival her. I think it's 2 reasons. I don't think she can rival her. One is because I do think being in the same draft class is one way to find a rival. That's why I don't think Sabrina and Caitlyn will ever be like. I think everybody's trying to figure out how to replace Angel and Caitlyn's rivalry because of the skill gap. And I just don't think no one's organically going to have the rivalry that the 2 of them had. As much as we want to say Caitlyn's better, and Caitlyn is a better basketball player, but that moment at the Natty was organic. And I don't think Paige and Caitlyn will ever have an organic moment like that, at least not in the next 3 to 5 years. And that's the biggest reason why I don't think she can ever be a rival to Caitlyn. I think she could play up to that level, though.
Okay. I'm gonna add to Jordan if you had anything to comment on Tay's comments or anything like that. I'm gonna bring up TX.
Good.
Okay, I appreciate you, Take. Stay on the live. Double tap. Make sure y'all share. TX, you up next. Talk to us. And Tracy, I got something I want to say to you about everything that you're saying because I really do appreciate your comments. What's good, TX? Hey.
How y'all doing?
Good. How's it going, TX?
Big and sweet. Because in my personal opinion, I just feel like a lot of people don't actually watch Paige play. Like from her freshman year, well, anytime she did play, because it's like she's been injured for like 2 whole years. But I would just like to say, like, touch on her impact on this team. Because yes, you kind of still good without Paige, but they're not Final Four good. Okay, like every year Paige has played and has been healthy, that team has made it at least to the Final Four.
Yeah.
All right, that's just the truth. It is what it is. That's just how it is. And on top of that, it's like Paige is good at everything. Paige is good at everything. Like there's nothing that Paige can't do, except of course be more aggressive. But I mean, she has been more aggressive. She just isn't playing as many minutes because there's no point. If you're blowing out a team by 40, why Paige more minutes? But I feel like I wouldn't see how she perform against those better teams because she gets better when she plays against those better teams. But UConn's major flaw has always been injuries. I think that's Paige's major flaw is injuries. You know,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
2 years.
Yep.
All right. Because of injuries. And that has hurt her, all right, and her game a lot. You know, that when you're injured, you can't practice, you can't develop anything, you can't do anything. And I think that people just don't understand how she's still as good as she is without that development that other players within the same age group and class has or has had. So I think that's just crazy. Like,
so let me ask you. So do you think do you think she's a generational talent? And then other question is, do you think she'll rival Clark in the WNBA?
I mean, I think so, yeah. But I think that Paige and Caitlin are different. I think we're looking at their points and their assists and things like that, but I don't necessarily think that's the type of player either of them are for real. Like, I think that Caitlin will always have the volume on her, but however, Paige will always have the efficiency and things like defense and the versatility on her. She will always have that. I feel like when we're talking about if they're playing head-to-head, let's just say in the playoffs, I think you're going to get the same amount of production out of both of them. That's just been the way it has been ever since they've been playing against each other. So I don't really think that is going to be a significant difference looking at their careers 5 years down the line. I don't think there's going to be a difference. I know that there are people who feel that way, but I don't think there's going to be.
So you do think she's going to be rivaling her in the W? Okay.
See, why not?
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
yeah.
And
I don't know what her stat line will be. I don't know what she's gonna come in the WNBA doing. When I watched Paige play, I was like, obviously she's gonna be really good. Like that's clear.
Yep.
Like that mid-range Reau is lethal, especially in the clutch. Is lethal.
And she's that's another one. She's clutch. That's another thing.
I never realized how good of a mid-range jump shooter she was, and I think that's the major strength in her game. It's not her three-point shooting. It's for sure her mid-range.
Okay. All right. Make sure I'm gonna bring you back up.
Good take, TX. I like it.
Great take. Y'all requesting. I'm gonna hear y'all thoughts on this. Double tap the screen. Like I said, share this to some people. Share this to 2 or 3 people. We should be running. I want to run a contest. Whoever shares the most, we gotta do something like that. Like y'all double tap the screen. I appreciate that. Now I wanted to talk about one thing. So do I feel like we kind of spoke about this on a live like a week ago, and I'm writing a story about this too. Funny enough, I don't think Caitlin has a rival. So to Tracy's point, I don't think that she has a quote unquote rival, as in there's like somebody. I'm not saying that they're not as talented as her, but I feel like she is like. I feel like this. So I feel like if y'all ever seen Kill Bill, it's one of my favorite movies on this earth, right? I feel like Caitlin is the bride, meaning like, even though she's the protagonist in this movie, like I see her as like a Thanos, so like, but let's go stay Kill Bill. So I see Caitlin as the bride, right? And I feel like on her trek to becoming, and some people will say she'll become the greatest of all time. I'm not saying that all yet, but what I am saying is that I feel like there are players that she has to like check off on her death list. One of them being Angel Reese. One of them being Paige Bueckers. One of them being Asia Wilson. One of them being Breanna Stewart, right? I feel like she has a list that she has to just like literally surpass and just dominate to say that, hey, I'm the one that's standing above. And then funny enough, I have Bill as Diana Taurasi, meaning like once she reaches the end of the road of her career, like the one that she has to obviously surpass is DT, meaning she's got to get MVP, she's got to get rings, and she's got to actually accomplish a lot to get that that note of not respect, but just
Right.
like
Just
that
the accomplishment, yeah.
yes, that overall exactly. So that's how I feel about it, truthfully. And the next thing, Angel Reese is a non-factor. She is going to break y'all hearts. Y'all keep talking this nonsense about this young woman. She is going to break your heart. She's going to win in this league, bro. Like,
so I think a comparison, and it's not a perfect comparison that I think of when I think of Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers is it's an argument that I've heard before about Eli Manning versus Phillip Rivers. You got one person from like the establishment, right? Like all the cultural like hegemony, like the long standing, like Connecticut Huskies team where we're just a factory for goats, like just a goat factory. Like, and this is this is the next product in the line, in the assembly line of the goat factory. And you got a player
GOAT. Go.
Yeah, and it's just like, she's so like smooth and confident, and she plays a little bit slower than Caitlyn, not frazzled. She has this offensive awareness, like nothing, and she doesn't have this like, or so it seems, like a killer instinct or level of aggressiveness that she hasn't demonstrated up until this point, right? She could totally prove that wrong, if she changes her narrative about herself, and she's got all the talent in the world, Paige Bueckers. And then you got Caitlin Clark from a relatively smaller school, kind of like a rival, right? But just, like literally trying to prove everyone wrong all the time. But coming from Connecticut, Caitlin has this, I mean, Paige has this like bedrock of confidence where she's just like, yeah, right. She knows that she belongs here. There's gonna be no imposter syndrome when she comes to the WNBA. She's gonna be there ready to perform. And not to say that Caitlyn wasn't, but I think that's my analogy for what I do with them.
So let's go with KD. So KD said, so who's Eli and who's Breeze in this situation between Paige and Caitlyn? I think you're saying that Caitlyn is
I'm saying Eli and Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, no. So I'm assuming that means. Yeah, that's okay. So you're assuming.
So Eli is Paige, and Rivers is Caitlyn.
Caitlyn,
yeah.
Because she's from the establishment, like.
Yeah, right.
You missed that part, Katie. The Ravens' revenge. Paige's defense is what sets her apart, and then Paige is neither. Tracy is not high on Paige. I want to Tracy, come up here. Let me hear what you got to say about this right quick. I want to hear your take on that. And then, like I said, everybody, y'all can request and we'll hear what y'all gotta think.
I do agree with Trey that Paige is the better defender than Caitlyn, but at the WNBA level, they might both end up being like below average, like minus defenders.
Tracy, you up? What's goody, sir?
Yo, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You hear him? You hear him, Jordan?
Yep.
All right. So to answer what you asked, I don't think Paige is generational. I think generational is like, that's a one-on-one, like Michael Jordan, LeBron. When I watch Paige, like, I just don't see that. And the fact that she went to UConn and she couldn't beat Iowa last year, that just showed me the difference between a generational player and a good player. Like, there's no way Iowa. If it is generational player.
That's a good take. Keep going. That's good. You can keep cooking. That was good. That's good.
And then with what you said, Reau, like Clark, she doesn't have a rivalry. Nobody's her rival. Like, you can't say Paige because she's not even in the league. I mean, you can't say Angel because, I mean, if you want to use it in the context of just like viewership, but like a real rivalry.
Okay. So so he answered both. He answered both of the questions, Jordan, and I appreciate that, Chase. I'm gonna put you down, and if you have something else to say, all y'all can request up. Hey, I think we both agree on that. I feel like she kind of stands alone, and then we'll see other players try to like compete with her because I haven't seen.
I think Katie kind of nails the underlying point, which is like people have different definitions of what a generational talent is, and like I mean, how many generational talents are there in the league today?
I would say like a few. You know how I feel about Angel Reese. I feel like Angel Reese is one of them for sure.
Caitlin Clark, Asia Wilson,
Brianna, probably.
is Brianna okay? Is Enrique? Is you know who is Sabrina a generational talent? No. Okay. I mean,
I
mean, is Nafisa a generational talent? Like what is a generational talent? You know.
That's a great question.
I think that Jordan has like a good point, like when he asks that question, because I think we all get caught up on who's generation, who's not. But I think that's really all up into how you define what a generational talent is, and like your personal opinion. Because there are people who will argue down that Jason Tatum is a generational talent, that AI is a generational talent, and I mean, I guess you can give that to them, I guess, or Tim Duncan is a generational talent, but people feel like generational is one of a kind and that is unique, but it's just kind of like, oh, Kaden, so you don't feel like all these other players who have dominated some of these players earlier in their careers aren't generational and have given franchises, you know what I'm saying, championship after championship, and have been the best players on their teams and in the leagues for years upon years. Like, is Jokic not a generational talent?
Yeah, he is.
I mean, to me, he is. Same. I feel the same way
Man,
about.
some people would say he's not even talented.
I feel like my definition of what a generational talent is different.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. She preaching. Right now, Jokic is. Officer agrees. Yeah.
It's like Jokic's peak. I don't think people understand just how good Jokic is. Just like they don't understand just how good Stephen Curry is. Like his peak is probably one of like top 5 peaks that we've seen thus far.
Jokic is my favorite player. Have you seen Jokic's last 7 games, Jambari?
I've watched 3 of them. One of them was.
I think he's averaging like 28, 15, and 14 in his last like 7 games
against the
dude.
Nets.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, y'all need to chill off of AI, bro. Like, I don't care what y'all think about AI. That's my favorite of all time. Y'all gotta chill off of AI.
I remember what he was saying earlier.
You gotta chill off of AI.
Hey, did you not know that UConn was absolutely destroying, obliterating Iowa for 3 out of the 4? That was their first time ever being UConn ever, bro. Ever.
Yeah, I
don't think your team matchup, like, I don't think that means anything.
Oh, it means something.
I don't think that means anything, because does the bad games that you have against lower ranked teams or on the biggest stage, does that all of a sudden
define you
if you're a generational talent or not, if you're a good player or not?
That's a good point too. That's also a good point.
I'm not about to do all that. I ain't about to do all that because that don't make sense. Especially if I've been blowing you out for 3 out of the 4 years I've been going there, and you beat me one time by 1 point, and all of a sudden now you're way better than me. That shit don't make sense.
That's a fair point. TX,
that shit don't make sense. That's irrelevant.
Thank you, TX. I appreciate that.
All right, TX, take it easy.
I'm gonna bring you back on. I want to get to this, Gino. I'm gonna bring you back on, Tracy. I got you. And y'all, again, everybody else, y'all requesting. And then Tay, you asked me what makes her stand alone. She is a rookie who almost just won MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's a rookie who made first team All-W, and she'll probably be the first guard to win MVP. Like, you know, she is that talented, bro. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like she's not Caitlin Clark Kent. Y'all gonna hear like that's Caitlin Clark Kent. You know what I'm saying? All right, now moving forward, I'm gonna and Tracy, I'm gonna bring up. I promise I'm gonna bring you up, but I want to hear some pause. I want to hear this Gino quote. This is what, speaking of Caitlin, this is what Gino Auriemma had to say about her recently. So I want to share that's kind of.
The point is,
okay,
where are we going next? And if we think that one Caitlin Clark is going to be enough to take this where it needs to go. It's not. Or one Paige Bueckers. It's not. what they do is they show you the way. They show you what's possible. And then the people that run the operation have to now capitalize on it. And then the younger generation, the high school people, have to prepare these kids so that when they get to college, we have something good to work with. And then we send them up to the WNBA, and then they have something good to work with. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So it still comes back to those of us that are in charge of the game. Are we making the game better every day? Are we making our players better every day?
What are your thoughts about that, Jordan? He had a lot more to say, but I'm not gonna. It's like
I think Gino's message is correct. I just don't like that it's coming from Gino. But yeah, like he is correct. Like it can't just be one player. One player can never really. Okay, because like if you attach everything to that one player, when that player retires, the whole league is just gonna go back to being what it was 2 years ago. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like for example, there's a different industry right now. Like in esports, there's this legendary Hall of Fame player. His name is Faker, and he's like getting much older, and he's about to at some point retire in the next year or two. And is the whole community surrounding that just gonna fall apart? Like, I mean, there's a good chance that it might if you don't, especially if you don't build up these other narratives, you know, to support the league. I think the WNBA is kind of doing a good job of helping build up like Reese, Beckers, Juju, you know, so there's enough seeds planted now where I think it won't be entirely dependent. Yeah, so they aren't hedging all their bets on just one player, but you know, in theory, Gino's correct. It's just a bad look that he keeps talking about Caitlin Clark in not the most positive ways. Exactly. That's all.
All right, Chasey, what you got to say about that? That's funny though, Jordan.
Oh no. So I just want to rebuttal
If you-
TX.
Yeah, and if you're gonna get everybody else, hold on. If you can get everybody else in the comments, you can do that. And make sure y'all double tap the screen, share the live. I appreciate that, y'all. Appreciate y'all for listening. Comments. Make sure y'all double tap that screen, y'all. All right, what are you saying, Tracy? No fault.
Oh yeah, so this for TX and everybody else in the comments. When I say based off of what she said, how UConn beat Iowa every time they beat them, I'm glad she said that because they beat them when they had all their players, all their good players, right? What I was saying was when UConn played Iowa, they didn't have a lot of their players, so they were rotating a six-man bench, right? What I'm saying is games like that is what show how much of a good player you are, because if you beat your best players, you should be able to beat us without them. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, okay.
I know my takes are not terrible.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
It's simple, like it's logical.
And I think about, like, to Tracy's point, I think about it like this. And I think about it like this, too, funny enough. It's just like I say in big games, superstars win. And I need my superstars to play like superstars when it's time to be a superstar. Otherwise, why are we calling you that, right? They roll the ball out. You got 40 minutes. You said you're better than me. Let me see it. One of them showed up victorious. You know what I'm saying? And we could go to the box score on that and everything, but one of them showed up victorious. And they kind of like left the other one behind. And you know, like, if you understand what I'm trying to say, like, I feel like she proved her point. I feel like she proved everybody's point. Like, she's better. And if you look at the numbers, she's averaged better numbers than Paige. Now, and it doesn't take away from Paige being great as well. But I mean, y'all gotta tell me if y'all feel like I'm crazy. Tracy, I feel like a little. I feel like what you're saying a little bit. I feel like I understand what he's saying.
Having conversations with Clark. She's not that. She's nowhere near that. Hey, come on.
I ain't gonna do all that. Now, I'm not saying all that. I'm not gonna say all that.
She have won. I forgot what it's called.
National Player of the Year.
Yeah, National Player of the Year. She shouldn't have won that. Clark averaged 26 and 7 that year.
Yeah.
And Paige only averaged like 17. What are we doing? Like,
and if I could, I'm gonna read the box score from so they beat them by 2. So 71-69. Paige Bueckers finished the game on 40 minutes, 7-17 shooting, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 turnovers, 17 points. Caitlin Clark had 40 minutes, 7-18 shooting, She had 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 4 turnovers, and 21 points. And then again, her team won.
Great stat line.
Yeah, it is. And her team won. And her team won. Tracy, I appreciate you. And I appreciate y'all. And I'm gonna bring we're gonna get to a point where I'm gonna add everybody on the live. Like, so it'll be like 5-6 people.
Well, he's a looter, so who knows?
Talk to us, Tay. What's goody?